and get up to $8,000 to find your thing.
Help dreams come true with the Ideal 529 Education Savings Program. Our easy-to-use tools make it simple to plan for your child's education. With tax benefits and ownership flexibility, Ideal is the perfect way to save for college, trade school, apprenticeships, K-12 education, and student loan repayment nationwide. Join us at our next webinar to learn more about the 529 plan. Enrolling takes just 15 minutes, and you can start with just $25. Visit idsaves.org to learn more.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
We do things differently in Idaho. Sometimes we go east to find west, where muddy trails meet huckleberry smiles.
Stars shine electric, and the wind smells like destiny. Sure, our traffic jams are strange,
And not all our steaks are ribeyes.
but wherever we go, our eyes never leave the road.
Belts strapped and dreams packed.
No distractions,
No phones.
focused.
From here
To there.
it's who we are.
Hello, friends. Welcome in to this IdahoSports.com GameStreams production as we are live at Clearwater Valley High School for our North Idaho game night here on IdahoSports.com. Hayden Uhlencott with you, as well as Kyle Schwartz, getting ready to bring you a great White Pine League matchup between the Kamiah Kubs and the Clearwater Valley Rams. Kamiah comes in 4-0 on a huge win against the Prairie Pirates last week, winning 22-12. They also beat Logos the week prior. That was our week off last week, Kyle. Now we're back, and we get to watch the Cubs once more. But they have a big week this week against Clearwater Valley. Huge rivalry game. It's homecoming. It's senior night. Lots of emotion and just bad blood between schools. But, you know, you look through the last 2 weeks of Kamiah's work they've put in. What's been your takeaway?
Really, it's been impressive. They've came out maybe a little bit of an underdog coming in the year, probably.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Life can change. Your health insurance should keep up. Things like moving, losing your job or current coverage, or having a baby means you could qualify for new coverage and savings from a tax credit. At Your Health Idaho, you can compare plans and see how much you can save on your monthly premium. Make sure to apply and enroll within 60 days of the change. More coverage, less cost. Only at yourhealthidaho.org. See how much you could save.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text START My Quit to 360.
So, what's next? Your path doesn't have to look like theirs. You can do this, or this, or this. Check out in-demand jobs in Idaho and get up to $8,000 to find your thing.
Welcome back here to Clearwater Valley High School. North Idaho game night here on IdahoSports.com. Glad to have you with us, Hayden Cott, as well as Kyle Schwartz, as we're ready to bring you a great game here in the Clearwater Valley area. Well, let's talk about.
They're 0-3 on the year, 0-2 in conference play. Last week was kind of a crazy game where they lost 102-0 to the Kendrick Tigers. Just another performance from Kendrick that just shows how dominant they really are. But the 2 weeks prior, they played Potlatch and lost 56-58 in overtime. Crazy game hit down here 2 weeks ago. And then at the beginning of the year, they played Glens Ferry and lost by 12. 3 weeks into the Clearwater Valley season, not what they were expecting, but still lots of hope.
Look at the game from last week. But you can also learn a lot from that. You learn
Welcome back here to IdahoSports.com. And starting lineups just got announced, and we are getting ready to roll. As it's a huge night, like we were talking about early on, Kyle, before we got rudely interrupted by the fireworks. It's senior night, and it's also homecoming. Crazy to think we're even at senior night. Doesn't seem possible. This is Clearwater Valley's second game of the year at home, but it's their senior night, and then it's also homecoming. And then to top it all off, you're playing your biggest rival you can possibly face. So, huge game for both teams, but specifically the Rams.
Yeah, definitely a big game. If you're a senior in CV, you should be really excited. You've probably been looking forward to this game since you were a little kid, thinking, when I get older, I want to play the Kamiah Kubs on my senior night. Like, I just want to beat them. You have goosebumps. You're thinking about it all week long, looking forward to this game. So you got to come up and show out for the town of Kuski and the surrounding area, and just make it a good game. Make your senior night special, and maybe walk out of here with a win tonight.
Yeah, I spoke with Alan Hutchins, the head coach. He's in his 6th year with the group, and early on in his career, had really good athletes and had opportunities. He made it to state a couple times. He's had a lot of success. The last couple years been a little bit different, mainly just because of how much dominance the White Pine League has put together. And now you're with a group that is very young. You have 4 seniors on the roster, and so you come in with a group that's young. We're going to see a quarterback at that's getting his first start in a varsity game. Actually, speaking of that, it's the younger brother, the older starting quarterback. Liam Wally was the guy, number 0. He's a junior. He twisted his ankle last week against Kendrick. And so now steps in his younger brother, who is a freshman and getting his first start in, a huge game. So big implications there. We also might see Tamuni Moses, one of the, top athletes for Clearwater Valley. And, he's solid. He was a bright spot in the Kendrick game. And so I would expect to see a lot of Tamuni Moses. But, it's going to be an interesting game. Lots of rivalries, lots of bad blood, just a history of great games here in the Valley.
Yeah, and you can see both teams are pretty fired up right now. CV's got it going. Fireworks went off, like you said, a couple minutes ago. The fans are filled up the stands pretty well on this home side. It's going to be an exciting game, and I'm sure Kamiah is ready for it as well. They want to show up and make a statement similar to what Kendrick did last week.
Absolutely. As always, this coverage on Idaho Sports is presented by Project Filter, Valley-Wide Cooperative, Next Steps Idaho, Ideal, Idaho's College Saving Program, and the Idaho Office of Highway Safety. Glad to have you with us as Clearwater Valley will be receiving the opening kickoff as Kamiah gets ready to boot it away. They are without their starting receiver, or starting running back rather, Everett Oatman. He'll be missing the first half due to a suspension. And so lots of adjustments, but they beat Prairie without him last week, and so it's an adjustment that we'll see and something they're used to. So we'll see Clearwater Valley the first time coming out against this really good Kamiah Kubs defense. If there's anything about Kamiah this year, it's been how good their defense has been. You know, you give up 6 points to Lapway. You give up 12 points, or 14 points, whatever it was, to Council. You give up 20 points to Logos, and then 12 to Prairie. And absolute, just great defense. And so right now, Tamuti Moses will be the man under center, number 52. And they're going to pitch it out to the side, to the far side. That's Peter Fabi. And right away brought down quickly. In the backfield, going to bring up 2nd and 12 for the Rams.
Yeah, Pete Fabi, athletic-looking kid back there. I think he's going to get the ball a lot tonight. It'll be interesting to see the mix and match of what Alan Hutchins has on the offensive side of the ball, because if they can make a couple big plays against this Kamiah defense, they can really make it interesting.
2nd and 13 here. Tamuti Moses all alone. He's looking to run. And tangled up in the backfield, Boone Cox was one of the first ones to get to him. And nothing there for the Rams. Brings up now 3rd and 13.
It'll be interesting to see how much they throw the ball tonight. Last week they had 3 pick sixes going the wrong way. Obviously new quarterback in, but it'll just be interesting to see what the offensive scheme is here.
Tamuti Moses under center, no one behind him. Drops back, has pressure. Coming around, it's caught, but not for much. Caden Carter, the sophomore tight end, on the reception, and very quickly it's 4th down and 11 from their own 49. They're going to put them right at the 50, actually. So, big decision here for Alan Hutchins right at midfield. Will you punt it away to your rival, or will you go for it on 4th and 10?
I mean, it just really depends what kind of setup, what kind of punter you got, and it looks like they're going to line up to punt unless they got some trickery here early.
Connor Christensen will be the boot. Back deep is Todd Roberts. Has a high snap and lots of pressure. Lawson Landmark comes in. And Landmark, the starting quarterback, causes the disruption and turns it over and gets the ball in even better field position. Puts him at the 37-yard line, and the Cubs will have it. So Lawson Landmark takes over. As we mentioned, Everett Oatman's gone for this first half. So in the backfield is the previous starting center, Damian Ochoa. Had a really good game last week against the Pirates. Landmark back to throw. Rolling right. Stops, throws it down the sideline, and finds Todd Roberts. A great throw and catch to start off. Lawson Landmark cool and collected and moves the chains. .9:30 here in the opening quarter, and the Cubs already inside the 20-yard line. Roberts in motion, and they hand it off up the middle. It's Ochoa. And gains 405. Brings up 2nd and 10. 2nd and 5, rather. During this broadcast, we'll always be talking about our great power boosters. Cloninger's Marketplace for the Cubs, as well as Jesse Hunt Logging for Clearwater Valley. Syringa Hospital and Clinics, and Cottonwood Community Credit Union, as well as Cloninger's Marketplace. They hand it off up the middle, and Logan Keene goes nowhere. Tamuti Moses right there on tackle. Third and 10 now.
Cubs are now facing a 3rd and 10.
Kamiah still choosing to spread things out. Top of your screen is Gavin Schoening. And Roberts in motion once more. Landmark looking to throw. Out route finds Roberts. Stops on a dime. Picks it up. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Cubs.
That was a nice little play there by the Kamiah coaching staff. Just had Roberts coming in motion, noticing that CVU was in man, and just had him keep following along towards the goal line there, knowing he couldn't chase him down quite to that edge. And then Todd Roberts made a good play, catching it 2 hands, and then reading where the defender was, going back inside, walks in for the touchdown.
So the 2-point try here for Kamiah with the 6-0 lead. Landmark once again looking for the out route. Can't find Schoening. And it'll bring our score to 6-0. Kamiah with the lead. 8:11 left in this opening period. We'll take a quick timeout and come back here in 30 minutes on IdahoSports.com.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Welcome back here to IdahoSports.com as we have a great North Idaho game day matchup between the Cubs and the Rams. As Kamiah takes over on the fourth down, they turn it over. Clearwater Valley does. 4 plays later, Clearwater Valley ends up giving up a touchdown to Kamiah. It's a out route throw to Todd Roberts from Lawson Landmark, and it's now 6-0, and Kamiah starting off just where they left off. We haven't seen Kamiah's offense take off yet, if you will.
Yeah, they haven't really taken off, even in that Logos game we did. Other than the one big run by Lawson Landmark, it was pretty simple, just dink and dunk, getting down the field.
Fabi will be the returner. Far side with the ball. Tries to break a couple tackles, gets past Roberts, but won't be able to get past Damian Ochoa, rather. Kyle, during this broadcast, if there's anyone listening, you can always make the memories of this last a lifetime by owning the digital game file of this for only $15. Just click download archives, and it's yours. So, if you're a big Cubs fan, big Clearwater Valley fan, here's a good chance to own a homecoming and / senior night, broadcast. It'd be beautiful.
Yeah, you can go back and watch your senior night, show your kids one day what you were doing on the field.
I agree there. 1st and 10 for the Rams. Moses back to pass. Steps up in the pocket, taken off. And taking it himself, 6 Cubs to bring him down. And is going to bring up a 2nd and short for the Rams.
Good positive gain there. They didn't have much of that on that first drive. Little improvisation. I don't think that's the right word, but from Tamuni Moses to make it happen.
High formation for the Rams. They hand it off up the middle. That's Carter. And we'll see where they put him. It's going to move the chains. So Clearwater Valley gets their first down of the ball game. Against this Cubs defense, a big adjustment for Clearwater Valley this week is what do you do without your starting quarterback, Liam Wally? He's put up a lot of great games throughout the year, mainly against Potlatch. Had 5 touchdowns, like 400 or 500 yards on the ground and passing. Moses looking to throw across the middle, just too far. Nice ball, though, from Moses. I was kind of surprised when Hutchins told me that, yeah, Moses is going to throw the rock around tonight. I'm like, all right, well, lineman transferred to running back. Don't know how well that'll work out for you. And man, Tamuni, nice arm on him.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times this year now. Some linemen going back to quarterback, playing some skill positions. That's the beauty of 8-man football, smaller school football. You got to be interchangeable, and you just got to be an athlete.
2nd and 10 for the Rams. 6 minutes left in the quarter as Fabi has it, and he is blown up in the backfield. Logan Keene and Damian Ochoa there once more on the tackle. So now 3rd and 11. 5:45 in the opening period. Clearwater Valley coming in 0-2 with a conference record. If they could win this game, it would put them in a really good spot to turn their season around. You play, you already got Logos and Kendrick out of the way. You didn't play Logos. That game got canceled. You get rid of Kendrick. Now it's like, okay, we have a few games left, and if we can make a move, we have a chance. Fabi tries to hurdle him, man, and can't get past. Going to be 4th and long. Logan Keene there once again on the great tackle. So now 4th and 12. Another decision here for the Rams. And the timeout taken on the field. So we'll do the same and keep it here. There's 5 minutes left in this opening period. A 4th down and 12 will be at the decision of the Clearwater Valley Rams. Are you interested in joining the team here at Idaho Sports? We are always on the lookout for talented people that want to get involved in what we do. Salespeople, producers, camera operators, writers, photographers, even broadcasters. Email editor@IdahoSports.com to find out more. You can be in contact with Paul Kingsbury, and he will line you out. And did you know Idaho Sports is a lot more than just broadcasting? Continuing checking back to the website for updated scores, schedules, standings, polls, action photo galleries, and written content from every corner of the state. There's this other thing called Friday Night Flash, where we're heading there right now to check out all the scores, but you can look 6A through the 1A slate and find out any score that's going on in the area. We try to do our best to stay up to date on that and try to provide you as much information as possible in the state. Like, for instance, in the first quarter, Coeur d'Alene's up 8-6 on Sandpoint. That's a massive game up there in North Idaho. So 4th down and 12. Tamuni Moses in the backfield looking to run. Dropping back, steps up, and taking himself running through defenders, and only gets 2. First one there, Dylan Lockhart, the 6'4" defensive end on the tackle. So Kamiah takes over.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. Like we said, Kamiah's offense really this year hasn't been rolling, been able to march down the field on a super regular basis. That first drive, they had it going, seemed easy for them. We'll see if that continues to happen tonight or if it slows down and they rely on their defense, which they can do, clearly.
Yeah, Lawson looked very comfortable on the opening drive. Sends Ochoa in motion. Landmark rolling out, stops, works past Carter, looking to throw across the top, finds Gavin Schoening, and out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Talk about big plays starting off. I tell you what, Lawson Landmark, he is very cool and collected, doesn't ever look nervous. Kind of very unusual to see that, from a quarterback that's in his fifth game as a starting quarterback.
I mean, when you get to watch David Kloot back there the last couple years, he probably learned some tips and tricks, and just he's a gamer. He's played in a lot of big games throughout his career, so he knows what he's doing back there. Super comfortable, makes it look easy.
Yeah, starting point guard for a Kubs team in basketball as a sophomore. Across the middle, Todd Roberts, lots of space. Can he fit the seam? And one official called touchdown, and the other one will as well. So that's a touchdown for Kamiah, up 12-0 in the opening period.
Yeah, and Todd Roberts in that Logos game that we did, he was kind of the safety blanket there on that last drive, had 2 or 3 really nice catches down the middle, got popped on one of them, popped right back up, and made it happen. He could have been he was an option for player of the game in that game, and he was kind of showed up in the fourth quarter to make it happen.
Up the middle, Landmark goes 2 more, put it on the board. Cubs up 14-0. And so we'll step aside, take a quick break, and come back on IdahoSports.com. Kamiah.
When it's time to get health insurance, Your Health Idaho is the place to go. It's Idaho's health insurance marketplace where you can shop and compare plans from well-known insurance companies and lower your monthly premium with a tax credit you can't get anywhere else. Plus, certified local agents can find you the right plan for free. More coverage, less cost. Only at yourhealthidaho.org. See how much you could save.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
we're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you. At Valley-wide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valley-wide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Welcome back here to IdahoSports.com for our GameStreams production of North Idaho Game Night. Glad to have you with us. As I have Kyle Schwartz and I'm Hayden Eulencott. As Kamiah will have it starting out in the second quarter with a 2nd and 9. 2 touchdown passes. One to Todd Roberts, the other to Gavin Schoening. And Landmark will be in the backfield. Sends Keen in motion. There's a little bit of pressure. Tripped up on the right. On his feet. Throws it. And a smart throw to the end of the sideline. Now 3rd down. You know, that's a play by that's a veteran play. You know, you had the opportunity. You could have lurked back and, you know, throw across your body. Instead, take the easy play, throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, and you'll see Lawson throw back across his body. It's not like it's ingrained in his head that he can't throw across his body, because he can throw at some interesting angles, and really a good quarterback back there, really mobile, able to throw at any angle. So he was smart enough to just make the smart play and sort of try to make something special out of it.
Roberts in motion, 3rd and 9. Lots of pressure. On his heel and over the throw as Tamuni Moses making a difference. And the Cubs are in a tough spot, 4th and 9.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know if Lawson Landmark audibled that because he saw the blitz coming to be able to switch to the screen, because I didn't see anybody looking for the ball there. A little bit confused, not sure. But heads up play there if it was, and a nice blitz by CV.
A little noise here. Let's go defense.
4th and 9. Landmark all alone once more. Takes a snap, rolling left. Taking time, he's looking back the other side. Has Todd Roberts, the safety blanket, running through tackles. And Roberts moves the chains up to the 20-yard line.
Todd Roberts is really, really good. He's a smaller guy out there, but he runs nice routes. He just happens to be in the right spot at the right time. Seems to lurk in that middle zone really well. Good connection there with him and Lawson Landmark.
Said it 2 weeks ago, Cooper Kupp-esque.
It's a true statement. That's a good comparison, I'd say.
1st and 10 at the 15. Landmark taking it himself. Gets past the big man and kicked out. 10:50 here in the first half. Clearwater Valley in a good spot to score. Join Idaho Sports on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and you can watch Prepcasts, get updates, breaking news, pictures, and more. Be a part of the Idaho Sports Nation.
Yeah, it's a sad week when I don't get to tune into the Prepcast. I was a little busy this week, but I was really sad. I look forward to listening to you and everybody else on Idaho Sports every week on the Prepcast.
I don't know if that's a backhanded compliment or not, but I'll take it.
No, it was very serious. It's really fun to listen to if you're interested in sports all throughout Idaho, and you get a breakdown from everybody who has a little bit better perspective than maybe I do.
You're right. You get to listen to the East Idaho Prepcast. You get to listen to the North Idaho Prepcast, the Magic Valley Prepcast. There's a lot of Prepcasts here. There's even Gem State Game Day and the 8-Man podcast. So lots of stuff going on IdahoSports.com. There's basically a podcast every single day. So if you look at it like that, it's a pretty good day. So 3rd and 5, Landmark. Rolling out, finds Keene, runs over a man, into the end zone, touchdown Cubs. Logan Keene has put on quite the performance in the last 2 weeks, had a huge game against Prairie, and now with another touchdown.
Yeah, he's pretty impressive back there. He's a junior. His brother's on the coaching staff. He's been impressive going in, filling in for Oatman, who is not available in the backfield. Made a nice catch there and trucked a kid to get in the end zone.
2-point opportunity for the Cubs. High snap, Landmark. Across the middle, a little behind Roberts, doesn't matter. 2 points, good. And it's 22-0. Kamiah with the lead. We'll take a break, come back on IdahoSports.com in just a few.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
As Idahoans, we're not afraid to take risks.
All the way, all the way. Go. All the way down, all the way down.
Driving under the influence is not a risk we're willing to take. Be around to do more of what you love.
4th and 10 here for the Rams. 9:19 in the second quarter, and they punt it away. Back deep's Todd Roberts of the Cubs. And stays in bounds, and he'll decide, no thank you.
Kick by Connor Christensen there. Cubs will take over on the 30, 25.
9-10. See what Clearwater Valley's defense can come up with, because Kamiah so far has had all the success in the world.
Yeah, they've pretty much done whatever they wanted here in this first half so far. When you got a really comfortable quarterback back there, nice connection, spreading the ball around to wherever they want, it's been a real show.
1st and 10 from the 25. Up the middle they go with Ochoa.
Nice tackle there by
Gets
number
a couple.
30, Caden Carter.
This is tied for the most points they've scored in the last 2 weeks. Impressive showing by the Cubs. You know, we weren't sure if they could get over that 22-point mark.
Yeah, they outside of that game against
Lapwai,
they haven't been able to score over 22, but they can rely on their defense, which is not a bad habit to do.
2nd and 10 for Kamiah. Ochoa and Landmark just having a nice friendly conversation like it's lunchtime. Landmark, little quick screen here. Gavin Schoening working around the defense the long way, trying to run the whole length of the field, and gets 4 or 5 out of it.
Number 11, Gavin Schoening.
Brings up 3rd and down and 5 for Kamiah.
Yeah, it was a long way to run 5 yards, but sometimes when you're in the moment, you got to do what you got to do, and gained a couple. Now puts them in a good position to be third and short.
Just under 8 minutes here in the first half. Got to recognize some of our power boosters. Cloninger's Marketplace and Jesse Hunt logging for the Cubs. Landmark, high snap. Looking deep. And over the top, trying to find Shoney, and a flag flies late. Alex Paradise there on the coverage. As Schoening trying to jump above the defense. And that's going to move the chains.
Yeah, that was a pretty obvious one. It was a little questionable earlier. He didn't know if they were going to throw it, and then he really yanked on his jersey there, pulled him down to the ground. There's no arguing that one.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Kamiah. CV Rams power boosters are Syringa Hospital and Clinics, Cottonwood Community Credit Union, and Cloninger's Marketplace. Cloninger's all over the place. Has your nice pizza sticks and everything we could ask for. As head referee Dylan Canaday coming over to have a discussion with Alan Hutchins, saying that Schoening pulled down Alex Paradise. Our officials this evening are our District 2 group: Dylan Canaday, Jeff Knapp, Ben Stoll, and Levi Stoll. And now, Dylan Canaday, from the area, getting a hard time with the call. So I'm curious, having that hometown advantage, they might pick up the flag.
Yeah, they might. I kind of doubt it. What CV is saying is that it was an offensive pass interference more so, which did not seem to be the case. It looked like they pulled down the Kamiah wide receiver, and they'll keep it where it's at.
It'll be 1st and 10 for Kamiah. 7:37 in the second quarter. Ochoa in the sidecar next to Landmark. Takes it himself, read option, up the middle. Lots of speed, and no one's going to catch him there. And takes a nice walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Kamiah.
Yeah, he was spreading the wealth around a little bit, making some nice passes to his teammates, making them look good. He said, hey, I need one for myself. I'm going to take this one and show that I'm the fastest man on the field and get one for myself.
Well, he proved it there. It's 28-0 with 7.5 left in the second period. Schoening at the bottom of the screen. Roberts at the top. They'll bring Gavin in motion. Looking for Schoening. No one there. Can he squeeze it in? He does. 2 points good. And it's 30-0. Kamiah with the lead over the Rams. We'll take a break and be back on IdahoSports.com.
Life can change. Your health insurance should keep up. Things like moving, losing your job or current coverage, or having a baby means you could qualify for new coverage and savings from a tax credit. At Your Health Idaho, you can compare plans and see how much you can save on your monthly premium. Make sure to apply and enroll within 60 days of the change. More coverage, less cost. Only at yourhealthidaho.org. See how much you could save.
We're back here on IdahoSports.com. Kyle, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the state. A lot of huge games, if you will. We have the Friday Night Flash, and I'm curious what you'll say, but we also have Prairie versus Logos going on right now. That's a massive game. We also have Kendrick playing Lapway. It's a game where we might see Kendrick put up some big points. You know, there was since you didn't watch the Prepcast, I'll fill you in. So I gave Skaggs this, over-under. Who's going to score more points? Kendrick or the combined scores between Clearwater Valley, Kamiah, Prairie, and Logos? And he took Kendrick, which, fair estimation. Score update, though. It's a big one there, Kyle. Coeur d'Alene up 29-9 against Sandpoint. And Adrian, Oregon up 38-8 against Grace. If you're curious, Grace and Clearwater Valley playing just a couple weeks. Grace right now was like the number 2 ranked team in the media pool. Kamiah had to kick it away. It'll be Fabi. And he is slung down. Todd Roberts there on the tackle. And the Rams offense takes over. .720 in the second quarter.
Start off number 35, first and 10.
I will say, Everett Oatman had the opportunity to play in the second half. If Garrison Bretz feels like it, I guess you could say. We might see him for a drive, but I wouldn't expect, if Kamiah continues this run, I don't know if you would see a little bit more of your star player, heading into a big game next week against Kendrick. 2 weeks from now, I suppose. As the pass is thrown out to Alex Paradise.
Number 4, Alex Paradise.
And one of the first, couple completions from Wally.
Had himself a nice 5-yard pickup. Number 45, Logan Keene.
So 2nd and 5 for the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, you should be proud of Wally back there. If you're considering, I know it's not super close right now, but he's thrown some nice balls. Doesn't look super rushed back there. I mean, some at times, but when you got big linemen from Kamiah coming right at you.
Steps up, bakes out a few defenders, and he's taking it himself. And moves the chain, a 10-yard gain. And Kale Wally moving the chains, the freshman. Like you mentioned earlier, Liam Wally's probably wondering, shoot, is my little brother going to take my job from me?
Yeah, your worst fear as an older brother. I guess I'm not one, but I think that would probably be one of my worst fears is my little brother showing me up.
And taking my starting quarterback position? Yeah, that would be unfortunate. 1st and 10 for the Rams. Wally, back to pass. Long drop. Into the corner. Nice ball, and they're going to say it was caught. Paradise was somebody that you mentioned earlier in the broadcast before the game started. He looks like a guy that, just moves smoothly. Kind of an athletic build, athletic kid. right now showing it, 2 catches on the drive.
Yeah, 2 catches on the drive. He runs really nice routes. Dropped one earlier right on the sideline, but I think he's a really good athlete. I think Pete Fabi back there is a really good athlete. I think they have the pieces. It just needs to come together a little bit, but that'll come with time.
Yeah, add Tamuni Moses to the bunch, and you got a solid group. So they're going to come out in I formation on 2nd and 6. Play action. Wally steps up again. This time can't get past the Kamiah Cub defense. Gunnar Wyatt on the tackle. That's twice now where a Kamiah Cub defensive lineman's just grabbed Wally by the legs. No. You're not moving on us.
Yeah, and that's one of those scary moments when you're out on the football field. You get grabbed. You can't go anywhere, but you're not down. And then you got linebackers flying in out of nowhere trying to take your head off. That almost happened. He spun out of it, went down safely, but it's a scary moment.
It'll be 3rd and 8. Wally looking to pass, has lots of pressure, and grabbed in the backfield. A little too high there. It's going to be a penalty flag on Dylan Lockhart. So Kamiah, or Clearwater Valley rather, is going to get a first down off the penalty. One of the, I think it's the 2nd flag we've seen on this evening. So first down, and now Kamiah in the best, or Clearwater Valley in the best position we've seen all evening. Move them up to the 35-yard line. 5:10 here in the 2nd quarter. Kamiah with the 30-0 lead. Clearwater Valley driving. Wally steps up, still working. Runners behind him, and he's not going to get past Rylan Skinner there once again. Rylan Skinner's been everywhere this year. He's a really good defensive lineman. Also plays, the post position in basketball. And now 2nd and 12 for the Rams.
Yeah, I just heard Alan Hutchins a couple plays ago yell at his offensive lineman and say, just stay in front of him, because this defensive line for Kamiah has been all over the place.
Wally hands it off to Mooney Moses, and no one is there to block for him. He is met by 3 linemen.
Back to the line of scrimmage.
So now 3rd and long for the Rams. 4 minutes remain in the 2nd quarter.
Looking at about a 3rd and 13.
As always, this game's being audio streamed live and free on IdahoSports.com. If you have friends or family, not in the area, you can have them tune in. We had, 2 weeks ago, we got compliments that there were people listening from New York, Portland, Seattle, LA, everywhere, tuning in to watch the Cubs and Knights play some football. So, Idaho Sports, big deal when we're here. Tell you what, Carter on the handoff, they're looking double reverse. It's Peter Fabi coming around the near side. And he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and that's really one of those plays when you're really proud of your defense. You had 2 players sit back, sit in their position. Lawson Landmark, Logan Keene. We're staying disciplined, staying home, and that's what prevents those big plays from happening on the reversal. Especially in 8-man football, you break away a couple tackles, and reversing it back to the other side of the field is a lot easier than maybe it should be.
So it'll be 4th and a long 9 for the Rams with 2:45 here in the first half. Empty backfield for Kale Wally. Across the middle, right into the hands of Caden Carter. And gets the first down. The middle linebacker for Kamiah was sitting there waiting for the interception. And he knew it was coming to him. And Caden Carter just runs across the middle, grabs the ball, and takes off running. That's one of those plays that are, you know, it's an impressive catch and run by the sophomore.
Yeah, just in his fingertips, barely. Linebacker for Kamiah was sitting there waiting for it. As a coach for Kamiah, you're probably yelling, "Go get the ball," just like you would maybe in basketball if the ball was just bouncing right in front of you. You hate to see that happen. But big play there for CV.
1st and 10 now, inside the red zone. Wally rolling out, quarterback boot, needs help. Has some of it. And back to the line of scrimmage he goes. Maybe a little more. Brings up 2nd and 9.
Looks like he's going to pick up a couple. 2nd down.
Under 2 minutes, so Clearwater Valley, you know, you're inside the 20, you have time. You have 1 timeout, but you got to score here.
Yeah, you got to score. If you can make this a 38 ball game, 32-8 ball game going into halftime, getting a little confidence, put yourself in at least a little better spot.
Wally across the middle. And a last-second adjustment. Lawson Landmark comes in for the deflection. So now 3rd down for the Rams.
3rd down.
You can make these memories last a lifetime by owning the digital game file of this game for 15 bucks. Just click download archives button to order yours. We'll have some halftime stats at the break. We'll also maybe watch the homecoming, you know, ordeal that happens here around the valley. Another pass across the middle, this time to Moses. And once again, 2 Cubs in the secondary. So now 4th down and 8, a minute and 11, and you don't want to have this drive stall out.
No, you don't, but you've also seen a lot of success so far with Kale Wally dropping back and doing his thing. That's pretty much been your success here in the first half. Hasn't been a ton of it, but he's been a bright spot. Let's see if he can dime one up to at least get the 1st down.
Wally once more across the middle, looking for Fabi, and just off the mark. So the Cubs defense 3 plays in a row stands tall, and the Cubs defense stands up for the offense and gives them a minute to score.
Yeah, minute 6 here. Kamiah has been in the under 2-minute drill a couple times this year. Usually it's been in the second half, down a score. So they know how to score in under 2 minutes. They can get the ball moving. As much as we said that Kamiah's offense has been maybe not as fast as they wanted it this year, they have been able to score in the right moment. And this is one of those moments that you kind of imitate that and go out there and try to hammer one more in and make this 36 or 38 going into halftime.
Yeah, it's crazy how much swings. You know, a second ago you were saying, you know, it could be 30-8 heading into the break, or you know, anything different. And now Kamiah looking to extend the lead. Landmark under pressure and calmly throws it out and actually picked off. Picked off by Jackson Green. So what do you know? The Cubs had an opportunity and gave it right back to the Rams. It almost looked like Landmark stepped out of bounds. And I almost thought he took the sack, you know, 6 yards back. Jackson Green gets the pick.
Yeah, he threw it very last second there, making that throw. And I almost wonder if he thought he was just going to be able to swing it out of bounds and get back to the line of scrimmage just like we saw him do earlier. But he threw it up just barely inside the out of bounds line and got picked off. And we'll see if CV can capitalize.
Yeah, not near as good field position as earlier, but now it's 1st and 10. You know, you're at the Kamiah 30 and in a spot to score. Wally dropping back. Looking across the middle once again. The middle of the defense for Kamiah has been suffocating. 52 seconds remain in the second quarter.
Yeah, whatever system Coach Brett has going on there with the Kamiah defense, the middle of the field, every time I've got to watch him, read about him, it's been pretty stellar. That game that we did, Everett Oatman had, I don't know how many tackles. And then last week, I think I read that Schoening had like 15 or 16 tackles. So something's going on in the middle of the field. Plug-and-play system, and it's working.
Second down for Wally. Two-man rush for the Cubs. He steps up, faking out defenders, taking it himself. Then moves the chains, gets the first down, a 15-yard gain. Clock stops for the time being. So inside the 20, the Rams with another opportunity. And a timeout called on the field. We'll keep it here. Kyle, if you're Hutchins, you just used your third and final timeout. Likely what you're thinking is we got to have a couple plays in mind. You know, Clearwater Valley, each time they, you know, when they run plays every single time, it goes back to the coach. So it's not like you can get a quick huddle in each and every time. So you're thinking, okay, we have this play called here, and as soon as we get that play over with, we're moving to the next one, and we're running something different. I think that's got to be the mindset for the Rams if they want to execute and score before the break.
Yeah, and that's probably not a situation necessarily that Cale Wally has been in a ton where you got to run back-to-back plays, really understanding the offense and what you're seeing and going to the next level. And if you can score earlier, that's fine. You can trust your defense. I don't think this is a situation where you'd be too upset if you just scored right away, but you certainly would not be sad if you wound it down to the last few seconds going into halftime, scored, gave Kamiah a 0 chance. Either way, I think you're just happy with the score here. And they ran some really nice out routes. One was dropped by Pete Fabi earlier. One was dropped by Paradise earlier, just right on the sideline. So I think that they have the plays in place if they do need to get out of bounds quick. If you're comfortable throwing it across that middle, that's always an option. And it really seems like Kamiah's defensive line has been overcommitting the last few plays, so maybe that's something to look at as well.
First and 10 here. 40 seconds remain in the first half. Wally back to pass. Corner route, looking for a receiver through the hands, looking for Jackson Green.
Intended for number 9, Jackson Green. Second down.
You know, Kyle, I'm excited for halftime. It's homecoming, but we also get to see all these, you know, scores around the area and see what's going on. There's a lot of wild ones that I'm excited to talk about. It's going to be a fun halftime break, so don't go anywhere at halftime. You know, that's when people typically turn off the TV. And So we're inside the 10. Clock's a-moving. 30 seconds. Still 2 plays if you're a Ram. Under 20. You're probably only going to get 1 play here unless you can get one out quick. Got to get on the ball. Under center, Wally. Takes the snap, looking to throw. To the outside, incomplete. Going to bring up 4th down, but there's 6 seconds on the clock. That might be more important, the incomplete pass, than completing something there, because it wasn't going to get out of bounds, and you're going to end the half with no points.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think he dropped the ball on purpose. He was covered pretty well, but that one being incomplete probably saved you and puts you in a better position than catching it. Now you throw your best play out there and try to get a little bit closer going into halftime.
Wally under center. Moses in the backfield. Looking to throw. Has pressure. Evading defenders. Has a convoy on his right. And just brought down at the 1. Great defensive play by Boone Cox. And Lawson landmark for the first tackle. And Kamiah stands tall at the break. Kamiah will lead 30-0 heading into the break. And a good halftime show will be underway shortly. So we'll step aside, take a quick timeout, come back on IdahoSports.com.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
As Idahoans, we're not afraid to take risks.
All the way, all the way. Go. All the way down, all the way down.
Driving under the influence is not a risk we're willing to take. Be around to do more of what you love.
So, what's next? Your path doesn't have to look like theirs. You can do this, or this, or this. Check out in-demand jobs in Idaho and get up to $8,000 to find your thing.
Help dreams come true with the Ideal 529 Education Savings Program. Our easy-to-use tools make it simple to plan for your child's education. With tax benefits and ownership flexibility, Ideal is the perfect way to save for college, trade school, apprenticeships, K-12 education, and student loan repayment nationwide. Join us at our next webinar to learn more about the 529 plan. Enrolling takes just 15 minutes, and you can start with just $25. Visit idsaves.org to learn more.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
We do things differently in Idaho. Sometimes we go east to find west, where muddy trails meet huckleberry smiles.
Stars shine electric, and the wind smells like destiny. Sure, our traffic jams are strange, and not all our steaks are ribeyes. But wherever we go, our eyes never leave the road. Belts strapped and dreams packed, no distractions, no phones, focused. From here to there, it's who we are.
We're Valleywide Cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valleywide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Once again, we have contributed to your Ideal College Savings Program. Love, Grandma and Grandpa.
Ideal. Eventually, they'll appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. I love it.
College costs money.
Skyline looking to blitz. And Sweetwood's going to take it himself. He's going to break one tackle. Second tier speed. And Sweetwood's going to break that all the way for a Hillcrest touchdown. Big pass. Open receiver. He's got him. Skyline.
Throw it to Cordell. It's going to be a wide receiver pass. Has a man. It's caught at the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. Into the end zone for the Pocatello touchdown. Sales at IdahoSports.com. Buck out of the timeout. Delivers a strike to Yarbrough. Inside the 20, inside the 10, into the end zone. Touchdown, Sandpoint.
10 to go. Senio drops back. Looking over the top. Has a receiver. And that is caught. Touchdown. Cuna.
Take the snap. Drops back. You get a pass. Pass is there. It's caught. And it's touchdown, Titan.
See many of the receivers have a ton of space.
Burning going to look to the corner of the end zone. This is Osterman. What a catch. That is Osterman. 11-yard touchdown.
With more than one. As again, they go to Iverson. Breaks the tackle. I take it back. That's not Iverson. That is Atkinson. It's Cameron Atkinson's going to go. Touchdown.
are your homecoming class champions. Congratulations, seniors.
Welcome back here to Clearwater Valley High
Our
School
homecoming royalty
for
for
our
the
North
2025
Idaho
Owls
game
will
night
there.
between
Our
the
freshman
Clearwater
class
Valley
princess
Rams
is the lime
and
green.
the
She's
Kamiah
riding a
Cubs.
white GMC
At the
truck
break,
driven by Tony
Kamiah
Green.
leads the home team 30-0. Clearwater Valley celebrating their homecoming as well as their senior night. Kyle will talk more about homecoming in just a minute. I know you're so excited to talk about it. But let's talk about a little bit of football. So this game started off, Clearwater Valley had the ball, and they ended up turning over it on downs. Well, a couple plays later, Kamiah scored. It was a good pass from Lawson Landmark to Todd Roberts, and then exact same thing essentially happened later where Kamiah got the ball. A few plays later, scored once again, that time to Gavin Shoney. We've had a couple other touchdowns in this game. Big one was Lawson Landmark, kind of opened this game up at a 50-yard touchdown run to really put this game out of reach, at least in the first half, and put Kamiah in a really good position to win this game and head on to an idle week where they'll prepare for Kendrick in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, or 2 quarters in, Kyle, what's been your thoughts about this ball game? You have stats, and you also have homecoming to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, all of it is exciting. The festivities are fun, and the vibes are high here in Kuski. Overall, in that first half, I think when you look at it, just who's controlling the game, it's been Lawson Landmark. Not surprising from the quarterback position. He's being a highlight reel back there, doing whatever he wants, cool, calm, and collected. He has 3 passing touchdowns there in the first half, 4 rushes for 54 yards, 1 touchdown, doing it himself, and 126 yards passing. So impressive first half. He did have that 1 interception, but also his number 1 receiver, Todd Roberts, has 71 yards and 2 touchdowns there in the first half. So really impressive by Kamiah. Their defensive line's been tearing it up, wreaking havoc. CV, they weren't really moving the ball very well, especially in that first quarter. Seems like they got something figured out with Kale Wally back there. A little bit more efficient offense. They were able to move the ball down, got it down to the 1-yard line, just inches away from scoring there. So overall, I think it's been Kamiah's defense showing out. Lawson Landmark looking experienced back there, showing everybody what he's about. And that he has what it takes to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league and maybe even in the state in 2A.
You're right. You really put yourself in a crazy matchup in 2 weeks with Kendrick and Kamiah. It's going to come. I don't know the score of Kendrick versus Lapway. We can figure it out later on. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Kendrick probably won. And we'll get the score later, but it's going to make just this great ball game in 2 weeks where Ryan Skaggs and Tim Silflo will be on the call for that. We'll be doing Lewiston and Sandpoint instead. So we'll still get a good game, but yeah, missing out on a massive White Pine League clash. But what do you have for some of the stats this evening?
Yeah, like I said, Lawson Landmark's been tearing it up back there. For CV, they've been able to amass a few yards in the backfield. Kale Wally has 25 yards on 9 rushes. Tamuni Moses has 4 rushes, 8 yards. Pete Fabi, 5 rushes for 1 yard. Not a whole lot going on back there. The passing game's been going fairly well for Kale Wally. He's 5 for 14, 56 yards. He's been connecting with guys like Caden Connor, who has 42 yards receiving. Alex Paradise has 8 yards receiving, and Jackson Green also has 8 yards. On the other side of the ball, like I said, Todd Roberts has 71 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gavin Schoening has 38 yards. And Logan Keene has 1 reception for 11 yards and 1 touchdown. Damian Ochoa, switching from center to running back, has 15 yards on the ground. Logan Keene hasn't been able to go anywhere, -2 yards so far in this first half. They've been tearing it up on both sides of the ball. I do not have tackles for you, Hayden. I don't got that stat down, but I think just really overall, you're seeing everybody fly around. Lawson Landmark's been tearing it up on the defensive side. The whole defensive line for Kamiah has been really impressive.
Yeah, you look at that. Tamuni Moses had a lot of success when he got the ball against Kendrick last week. And I know that was a small sample size, but there was multiple times in that game where he had, a couple 10-yard runs. And Kamiah's defense has shut it down. And then you kind of look at Clearwater Valley's defense. They've done a decent job shutting down the running game.
Homecoming king is Tamuni Moses.
Well, we just got the homecoming king announced. Tamuni Moses is the king of Clearwater Valley, Kyle.
Yeah, he is the king of the night. We'll see if he can step it up in the second half. I'm sure he's not super pumped on how this game's going. Maybe that crown will make him feel a little bit better and get the wheels rolling in the backfield.
All right, well, we'll take a break, come back in just a few minutes, and then Kyle's going to hit on all the homecoming festivities here at Clearwater Valley. At the half, Kamiah leads 30-0.
They dropped off the money.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
As Idahoans, we're not afraid to take risks.
All the way, all the way. Go. All the way down, all the way down.
Driving under the influence is not a risk we're willing to take. Be around to do more of what you love.
So, what's next? Your path doesn't have to look like theirs. You can do this, or this, or this. Check out in-demand jobs in Idaho and get up to $8,000 to find your thing.
Help dreams come true with the Ideal 529 Education Savings Program. Our easy-to-use tools make it simple to plan for your child's education. With tax benefits and ownership flexibility, Ideal is the perfect way to save for college, trade school, apprenticeships, K-12 education, and student loan repayment nationwide. Join us at our next webinar to learn more about the 529 plan. Enrolling takes just 15 minutes, and you can start with just $25. Visit idsaves.org to learn more.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
We do things differently in Idaho. Sometimes we go east to find west, where muddy trails meet huckleberry smiles.
Stars shine electric, and the wind smells like destiny. Sure, our traffic jams are strange, and not all our steaks are ribeyes. But wherever we go, our eyes never leave the road. Belts strapped and dreams packed, no distractions, no phones, focused. From here to there, it's who we are.
We're Valleywide Cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valleywide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Once again, we have contributed to your Ideal College Savings Program. Love, Grandma and Grandpa.
Ideal. Eventually, they'll appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. I love it.
College costs money.
Welcome back here to Clearwater Valley at IdahoSports.com. North Idaho game night. Hayden Uhlencott with you, as well as Kyle Schwartz. Is at the break. Kamiah leads 30-0 at our homecoming and senior night. ball game, and
Zach
also
Landmark was our winner from
big,
Kamiah there, and he was nice
big
enough to
rivalry
donate it
games.
back to the senior class. So thank you very much, Zach.
Got a great
We
PA
definitely
announcer.
appreciate
If you don't know who it is,
Round of
it's Josh
applause for Zach
Bradley.
there.
Clearwater Valley baseball coach, does a good job with the program for the Rams, and he has got all kinds of energy. I appreciate it. But Kyle, let's talk about, we have time on our hands. Let's talk about homecoming for the Rams this week.
Yeah, homecoming's a big deal, especially I feel like really just every school, at least in Idaho. I don't know how it's celebrated in other states, but it's a big deal. It's a fun way to get all the classes together, collaborate a little bit. Sounds like from this week they did pajama day, beach day, camo day, powder puff, football. If anybody's not aware of what that is, the girls come out here and play a little football, and the senior class won this year, and powder puff volleyball. If you can imagine what that is, it's the boys get out there and play some volleyball, probably break a few rules. At least that's how it was when we were in high school. We got called for carrying all the time. Seniors won that as well. The juniors won the float contest. You might have saw those go by. I don't know if the camera was on it, but the floats went by earlier. The juniors won with their slogan of going cub hunting for the season. And overall, the seniors won the homecoming festivity. That's pretty much usually how it goes. Seniors win homecoming. It's how it's supposed to be. But it's an exciting time. It brings a little bit of excitement to the game on Friday. Makes everything a little bit more fun, and everybody gets to be involved.
Yeah, like we mentioned, Tamuni Moses, homecoming king, an accomplishment that he will always have with him for the rest of his life. Well, we're looking forward to a good half here in the second half. We didn't touch about all the games going around the area. Well, let's talk about a couple of them, Kyle. There's some big scores in North Idaho. There's some big scores down in Southern Idaho. But let's start with Northern Idaho in the 6A classification. So Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint played. That was a big game. Sandpoint came in ranked number 4 in the state. Coeur d'Alene kind of down this year, we thought, in 6A. Well, at the half, it's 36-9. Coeur d'Alene's with the big lead over Sandpoint. So that's a surprise there, Kyle. Some of the other games that we saw in the area is, what are we seeing? Lake City is going to get their first win of the year against Eisenhower. They're up 50 in that ball game. Post Falls is in a tight one with Glacier Peak out of Washington. Got some other games in the area. Lakeland beat up on Moscow 28-0. That game's not quite over with in the 4A ranks. Bonners Ferry was up huge on Kellogg at the break, up 42. St. Mary's in a tight one against Timberlake, 19-15. And then in 3A, the big one was Grangeville lost to West Jefferson 34-6. Another interesting game was North Fremont and Salmon. That one's a tight ball game right now. And then in 2A, some big scores. Adrian, a state champion from Oregon in the 8-man ranks, beat up on Grace, who is one of the best teams in 8-man this year in Southern Idaho. Kendrick's up 70-0 against Lapway at the break. And Potlatch is up on Deary 36-6. And the other big score around the area, especially up on the Camas Prairie, Logos with a huge lead on Prairie right now, 34-6 at around the halftime mark. So lots of games. Prairie's looking to lose, not looking to lose, but they are on their way to dropping 2 in a row. Don't see that very often in the Hasselstrom era. And next week they're going to be up against this Clearwater Valley Ram team that's hungry, that's going to want to win, and that could be a really good game. So if nothing going on in that area, might be worth tuning into. Kamiah next week, like we mentioned, will be on idle, so they'll have a bye, and they'll prepare for their big game against Kendrick. Any other halftime big deals that you noticed were something that we wanted to talk about, Kyle? Any big scores that stood out to you? Any adjustments that you think Hutchinson or Garrison Bretts might bring into the table? We do see Everett Oatman, suited up now.
Yeah, definitely. I want to hit on that Coeur d'Alene Sandpoint game. Everyone thought it was going to be a close game, including me, going to be a good one up there. But you and Skaggs on that prep cast that I look forward to a couple weeks ago, Skaggs made a good point regarding Coeur d'Alene that they need to figure out sooner than later. And I think they have the athletes that once they figure it out, and the coaching staff, once they figure it out, they can get it rolling. I think they were rolling against Lewiston a couple weeks ago. And clearly they're rolling tonight. I think they just have the pieces to put the puzzle together, and once it's complete, they can really make a run for it. Hopefully they didn't shoot themselves in the foot too early on in the season and get a bad seed going into state. But the hopes are still high, and if you're a Coeur d'Alene fan, North Idaho, football's good up in the north this year for sure.
Yeah, the only loss for Coeur d'Alene was against Rigby from the state of Idaho. Kamiah will have it starting out. It'll be Everett Oatman. First action from his suspension, and breaks a couple tackles and up to the 43-yard line. So Kamiah comes out for their first drive of the second half with a 30-0 lead over the Rams on homecoming. As always, IdahoSports.com will bring you a broadcast that is live and free. Tell your friends and tell your family. Oatman in the backfield next to Landmark. Looks like Damian Ochoa moved back to his normal position. And they go to Oatman, working around the offense and still on his feet. He is fighting hard. Everett Oatman with a 15-yard run.
Yeah, he looks like he's happy to be back on the field, I'd say. Game and a half off. Built up
what I was thinking.
Built up some energy, and he's coming out here to say, welcome back. I'm home. CV, if you missed me, I'm here.
He's ready to be back. 1st and 10 for the Cubs. They go to him one more. Up the middle. This time he's not breaking the tackles. Connor Christensen's not having any of it.
Connor Christensen on the tackle.
Kamiah, a team with only 6 seniors on the roster. So still a lot of optimism. But they're hoping this is their year, looking to move on to 5-0. I bet Damian Ochoa is super excited to be back at that center position.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more comfortable, but I'm sure he was happy to get some reps back there, running back, show what he can do.
Get in the newspaper, all kinds of action. Landmark looking to throw, has lots of heat. Little underscreen to Todd Roberts. Roberts getting away from the defense and breaks into the open field. Touchdown, Kamiah. 36 yards out. Todd Roberts with a score.
We have a new cameraman tonight, but our old cameraman, Sam Mauger, would be pretty pumped. He was really impressed with Todd Roberts a couple weeks ago, and he's impressed me tonight. That Cooper Kupp comparison, he's flying around, dodging every defender, and then just walks in there.
36-0. Kamiah really just putting it on right now.
Empty backfield on the 2-point here.
Landmark thought about it, skips away, hops into the end zone, touchdown, or 2-point is good for Kamiah. So, a minute and a half gone in the third. Kamiah with a 38-0 lead. We'll take a break, come back in 30 seconds.
As Idahoans, we're not afraid to take risks.
All the way, all the way. All the way down, all the way down.
Driving under the influence is not a risk we're willing to take. Be around to do more of what you love.
Actually, let's recognize Cloningers twice. They are the Power Boosters for Kamiah and Clearwater Valley, a great marketplace in the area, has everything you could imagine, all kinds of good deli food. I had donut holes I bought the other night. Those are pretty darn tasty. I'm assuming freshly baked. It's a good thought. And lots of other good stuff. So Cloninger always looking to expand and grow the business in central Idaho. The other Power Boosters is Jesse Hunt Logging. We've heard great things about Jesse Hunt today from our fellow cameraman. And the kickoff is away. It's going to be Moses, and he runs right into teammate Peter Fabi, and this time he's going to take it himself. He broke 2 tackles there. One of his was his teammate.
Do what you got to do, I guess.
Other Power Boosters for the Rams, Syringa Hospital and Clinics and Cottonwood Community Credit Union. So 1st and 10 for the Ram offense. First time we've seen them here in the second half.
Yeah, and I would imagine they stick with Kale Wally this whole second half here. One, because it was working better in the first half. But 2, just also get him some reps. You're down 38. He's young. It's going to help you out in the future, and it's going to help you now.
Wally drops back. Quick route and deflected in the air. Dylan Lockhart with the 6'4" frame deflects it.
Dylan Lockhart.
So now 2nd and 10 for the Rams.
Yeah, Kale Wally's not that big of a kid. We mentioned it earlier, not too tall, not a whole lot of meat on the bones. And Lockhart, all 6'4" of them, comes flying in there, hands up. That makes it real tough to get a pass over the top.
It'll pay dividends down the stretch of the season. 2nd and 10 for not Liam Wally, Kale Wally. Has pressure, trying to evade the defense, and he's not able to get out of it. Damian Ochoa on the sack. Damian didn't play football till his junior year. This is his first year back. He played a little bit in junior high, I believe. Decided to take the first 2 years off, got back into it this year, and is showing how valuable he is for this Cubs offense and defense.
Yeah, he's been really impressive in every game I've got to watch him so far this year. And also, the play calling by the defensive coordinator for Kamiah, I'm not sure who's calling the shots over there on defense, but they'll send 3 sometimes, send 4. They mix it up and keep the offense guessing.
Wally back to pass, 3rd and long. Trying to find the receiver. He finds Wally, who is right there. And Peter Fabi gets a couple yards. Going to bring up now 4th and long.
Yeah, he had 2 guys in the area. I'm not really sure exactly which one he was trying to throw to, but Fabi comes up with it. Nice toss there. Nice ball, and now you're probably in a punting situation as you're fairly deep in your own side of the field.
And if I'm Alan Hutchins, I'm telling my punter Connor Christensen, let's just kick it out of bounds. Let's not give any action to Everett Oatman here. He has enough animosity already. Kicks away, a little deflection possibly. And it's going to be received by Fabi. Landmark comes up a little gimpy, but it will go to the Cubs. So Kamiah takes over their second drive, 8:30 here in the 3rd quarter. Something to keep an eye on, Lawson Landmark. Just trying to stretch out that ankle.
Yeah, I as smart as I think Lawson Landmark is, that was an interesting play. There's a punt. He didn't have to try to hit the guy. Tried to lay a little extra on him, and I think twisted up his ankle or something there. Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, his brother's looking on. He's the backup quarterback. Little brother action here for both teams. The quarterback spot. We'll see if Liam Landmark gets in. Landmark takes it himself far side. Ankle looks to be okay. Up the middle, moves the chains. 1st down, Cubs.
Yeah, and it was a late pull there by Lawson Landmark. Faked me out there for a second. I thought Everett Oatman had it. He did a good job of tucking it inside, acting like he had it. Nice run around the edge there.
New set of downs for the Cubs. You can check out our expanded list of our regional prepcasts. Like Kyle was saying, our resident experts talk about what's going on in each part of the state you live in. Be sure to catch the new regional prepcast each week on IdahoSports.com or download the new episodes wherever you may get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I think there's a couple other ones that I'm not aware of. But Landmark looking to throw. Finds an out route. It's Gavin Schoening weaving through the defense. And to the 23-yard line, inside the 20 rather. First down Cubs once more. It's going to be an interesting thing to see next week, Kyle, or in 2 weeks, how this offensive line holds up against Kendrick's D-line. Kendrick doesn't have the biggest dudes up front. They have a guy like Travis Hicks, who's a pretty large kid. They have a couple of other ones like Nathan Kimberling, who can really move. It's going to be a challenge for this, athletic Kamiah line against someone like Kendrick, who's going to present a lot of problems at you.
Yeah, not only that, yes, their defensive line is going to throw some weird things at you. They're a faster defensive line, but also their cornerbacks and safeties and linebackers are absolutely stellar. Nathan Tweet sitting back there, Riley Rhodes' sender. I mean, the list just keeps going on and on in the cornerback, safety, linebacker position. So will Lawson Landmark be able to roll out where he's comfortable and find those openings because they have those guys there that can probably speed-wise match up and position-wise match up with Kamiah. So that'll be interesting to see what happens, and it'll really tell you how well Lawson Landmark is back there. I think he's going to be comfortable no matter what, but see if he can find those openings.
It'll be a fun test. It's 2nd and 5, and Landmark pitches out to Oatman. Oatman trying to run through the tackle to Mooney Moses. Tangles him up and sends him packing. 6 minutes in the third quarter.
Going to back the Cubs up a couple. 3rd down, about 7.
Yeah, and Kamiah's been really taking their time here on this drive in between each play, getting a rest in, trying to get the clock milked out. They don't see a whole lot of reason in trying to run it up too high. Just perfect your craft and really get Everett Oatman some more snaps, get him back in game shape if you can.
3rd and 7. 5.5 in the third. Landmark rolling out. Has pressure on the backside. And not going to get it off. Kind of flicks it out at the last second. Maybe not the best decision. And he comes up a little slow. Going to bring 4th down and long for the Cubs.
Going to be dropped for a loss. We're looking at 4th down.
This is a big, this isn't necessarily a big play, but I look at this as a play where, Kamiah has a big lead. But their offense this drive is kind of falling asleep. Like you mentioned, they're taking their time, but they're kind of taking the wind out of their own sails. And, it's I guess they call it 3rd and long. The offense is kind of moving slow. Everyone's kind of walking to the line of scrimmage. See if you can get a 1st down here instead of, put yourself in a tough 4th down.
Yeah, in these situations, you want to slow the ball down. I get that. But maybe for first few drives, you just really try to hammer it home.
So it is 4th down, and they're going to be looking to throw a screen pass. They find Oatman on the far side. Everett breaks the first tackle. Gets past the second. Full head of steam, spinning around. And finally inside the 5. Everett Oatman using all the moves he's got.
Going to scramble across for a Cub 1st down.
And up inside the 10-yard line. .417 here in the third quarter. Kamiah in a 1st and goal position.
It'll be 1st and goal.
Landmark slows down on a quarterback draw. Goes nowhere. Peter Fabi on the tackle.
Brought down from behind by number 1, Pete Fabi.
Going to bring up 2nd and goal. You know, we haven't talked about this, Kyle. Power boosters. You know, do you have what it takes to be a power booster for your school on IdahoSports.com? Power boosters are a great way for you and your business to be seen by tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of current potential clients and customers. Best part, 100% tax deductible. Email sales@IdahoSports.com. Landmark looking for the out route once more, and he's got it for the touchdown. Gavin Schoening, 5 yards out, put another touchdown on the board. 44-0, the Cubs are running away with it.
Yeah, they're really showing up and making a statement here. This will definitely help them down the road, saying that, yeah, Kendrick went and blew him out. We went and blew him out. Build up some more confidence going into next week. I think CV looks a lot better this week than they did last week. So even though you're losing by quite a bit, I would think that you can still see a little bit of silver lining in this. I think they're playing a lot better and holding up Kamiah's offense a little bit more than they held up Kendrick. I know it's different, and they run 2 completely different offenses, but there's moments to be proud of no matter what.
No, I agree with you there, and like we mentioned, it was the conversation with Hutchins that if they could win, a game against Kamiah, or maybe it's Prairie. Prairie right now looks maybe pretty vulnerable. It was a conversation 3 weeks ago where we were talking about Prairie just beat Valley. Maybe Prairie is the 2nd best team in the state. Now, after back-to-back losses against a team like Kamiah and then Logos now, it's like, okay, Prairie's licking their wounds. Here's an opportunity to bounce up. I think it's their homecoming next week. And so here's an opportunity. You lose on your homecoming, bounce back, try to knock off Prairie on theirs. So lots of optimism for the Cubs. But we're going to take a quick break and come back here in just a few seconds on IdahoSports.com.
So, what's next? Your path doesn't have to look like theirs. You can do this, or this, or this. Check out in-demand jobs in Idaho and get up to $8,000 to find your thing.
Welcome back here, IdahoSports.com, North Idaho game night. Kamiah winning big on the Clearwater Valley Rams. Homecoming on the evening. Lawson Landmark with 5 touchdown passes and 1 rushing touchdown. He is in a good position to be our player of the game. There's a really good chance. I'm not saying it's final, but he is in a good spot. Idaho Office of Highway Safety player of the game, to be specific. And Oatman kicks away. I'll be honest, a little bit more playing time from Everett than I expected. It'll be Fabi, though, on the return. Working to the near side. Needs a block. Breaks one more. Spinning off players. There he goes. Peter Fabi. There's a flag coming in. They throw a reverse. And a big gain for Clearwater Valley. But a flag might bring it back.
Yeah. I think it was a holding. Block in the back call there. That's usually what happens when you switch sides of the field. You either get a holding call or block in the back. Your blockers don't know which way you're going, and then the other guy switches directions. You end up blocking him back. I don't think it was intentional, but sends it back. What would have been a really good return there for Fabi.
There's 3 minutes here left in the third quarter. The clock is running now that we're over the 40-point threshold. So now this game will be rolling real quickly, I can assure you of that.
And after the penalties assessed, we're going to be starting out on the 19.
So the Rams will start out 19. It'll be 1st and 10 with Kale Wally. If you're a Cubs fan, you can make this memory last a lifetime by owning a digital copy of this game for just $15. Download Archives button, and that'll make it happen, and it's all yours. If you're a Cubs, if you're a Rams fan, maybe it's like, you know what, I want this for all my, tape. Maybe, if you're Tamuni Moses, you get a nice shot of yourself in the crown. It's a good opportunity. Wally with the face mask, but isn't going to get by Dylan Lockhart. Lockhart, we've called his name a lot this afternoon.
Yeah, he's been impressive. I think he was kind of a hidden gem last game. I think he was effective. Didn't do a whole lot on the stats sheet. Maybe didn't get a sack or anything, but he was in his spot every time. I think that's one of those players that you can trust isn't going to make a mistake, but maybe might not make the biggest play, but he's going to show up every single snap.
Yeah. We did just get a score notification at the end of the third quarter. Logos is up 48-6 against Prairie. So Logos, I don't know. Logos is a really solid team, but the Cubs right now have that advantage with the win just 2 weeks ago. Second and long for the Rams. Quick throw on the way and behind the receiver, so it's going to be incomplete.
Wally with the quick slant, number 9.
Yeah, I think if you're Kamiah, and I haven't had a bunch of conversations or any conversations with Coach Bretz, but I would think he knows that he probably played Logos at the best time possible early in the year. They're a young team. They're going to figure it out more when they go throughout the year. Kamiah is going to do the same thing, but I think when you look at the White Pine League and you look at Logos, they probably have the biggest or the highest ceiling in the league outside of Kendrick. Kamiah has a really high ceiling, but they're also very consistent. I think you know what you're going to get from them. Logos is probably going to have some growing pains, as they already have, but it could be really special.
Yeah, Logos has a lot of potential, has a lot of kids turned out. And, yeah, when you lose 15 seniors, there is going to be a growing pain. 3rd and 15 for Kale Wally. Looking to pass. Steps up. Not going to get past Dylan Lockhart. Another sack, Kyle. This would be the time to take some defensive stats, as Dylan Lockhart has at least his 3rd sack of the evening. And clock's running under 30 seconds in the 3rd. So we'll be heading to the 4th real quickly. See if they get a playoff here under 20 seconds. It's 4th down and 20. Everett Oatman back at the Clearwater Valley 40. They get the punt away, and Oatman's going to get a run at it. At his own 40. Takes off down his far sideline. Backs up. Goes the other way. And finally brought down. And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter as the Cubs are up big. We'll be back in 30 seconds on IdahoSports.com.
As Idahoans, we're not afraid to take risks.
All the way, all the way. Go. All the way down, all the way down.
Driving under the influence is not a risk we're willing to take. Be around to do more of what you love.
Idaho isn't your average state, and we are not your average people. We're not afraid to jump feet first, and we see the world a little differently. We know the importance of slowing down and the value of catching up. When we're not busy getting lost, we're looking out for one another. Our whitewater is aggressive, but our driving is not. We know all about taking chances, but we also know our limits. We drive safely because we care. It's who we are.
Kamiah is up big, 46-0 against the Clear Valley Rams. Their defense has been spectacular as always. One of the best defenses in the entire state of Idaho. Hayden Eulencott with you, as well as Kyle Schwartz, as we get ready to bring you the fourth quarter. It's going to go by fast since we are over the 40-point threshold. And the Cubs will have it. And they hand it off. It's Oatman on the near side. Still on his feet. Puts down a few defenders. Works back the other direction. Here he goes. Got to be clean if you're a blocker. Has a convoy in front of him. Everett working his way. Fighting for the end zone. He is in. Touchdown, Everett Oatman. Now that's a highlight play if there ever was one.
It's going to be a touchdown. Cubs.
Yeah, maybe you'll see that in the top 10 plays of the week when you go back to tune in on IdahoSports.com later this week. That was an impressive run. Just as impressive. I know we've said his name a lot of times tonight. Lawson Landmark laid down a nice block right there at the end. Pushed a guy back probably 5 yards to seal the deal for Everett Oatman. That's what a good quarterback does, being all around and helping your man Everett Oatman get in the end zone for the first time in a while.
Yeah, first touchdown in at least 2 weeks. Well, it's 52 now for the Cubs, as Logan Keene's had a quiet evening. He's in the backfield. No one was there for the option. Landmark will take it himself and get the easy 2.
2-point conversion, good.
Cubs get 2 more and tack on their lead. It's now 54 as the clock's running here. We'll keep it here, Kyle. We don't know any other scores at the top of our heads, but let's recognize our great power boosters. Cloninger's Marketplace, Jesse Hunt Logging. Shout out to Jesse Hunt. I don't know if he's listening, but he sure should be. And for the Clearwater Valley Rams, Syringa Hospital and Clinics, Cottonwood Community Credit Union, and Cloninger's Marketplace. Always a great sponsor of everyone in the Valley. Becoming a power booster is fast and easy. Just email sales@IdahoSports.com. Within 24 hours, your business can be proudly seen on your favorite school's teams, schedules, rosters, and conference standings. Multi-school discounts are available. So, if you're Cloninger's Marketplace, you get in the action. Be a part of Grangeville. Be a part of Kamiah, Kuski, Prairie, Weippe, Timberline, anywhere in the area, and you get a great discount on IdahoSports.com.
Yeah, you're not doing no wrong by signing up to do that. Can help out your business, help out the local teams, help make sure we get more coverage around the state. It's a win for everybody. You might as well do it while you can.
I agree there. Well, we did get a little bit of news here. Kendrick defeated Lapwai 90-0. And so I think our bet, well, I don't want to call it a bet. We aren't betting anything. What's more likely to happen of Kendrick scoring more points than Kamiah and Logos is not going to come into fruition. They aren't going to score enough, and that's okay. Well, Boone Cox, he started off the game kicking, and he's going to be the man with the boot right now. Clock ran about 2.5 minutes off during the break in between, possessions, and Fabi will be back deep to receive. Taking it himself, runs right into Boone Cox and down at the 40.
That was a good kick by Boone.
Definitely appreciate our media covering the game tonight. We've got Idaho Sports here.
Gotta love the shout-outs we got.
There with the Idaho County Free Press. Appreciate you.
54-0. Kamiah with the big lead, but Clearwater Valley with it. Clock is ticking. Next week, we have a couple games. Myself and Tim Silflo will be in Potlatch for the Kendrick and Potlatch game. Kendrick gets about every game we can find because they're such a, fun watch. And so that'll be a fun game. And then 2 weeks from now, like we mentioned, Kamiah and Kendrick will be on the stream, as well as Sandpoint and Lewiston. Sandpoint right now in a big hole against Coeur d'Alene. Not something we could have ever expected heading into this evening. Well, at least I couldn't have. Pass on the way, picked off. It is Todd Roberts. Todd Roberts making a case for player of the game. Him and Everett, him and Landmark. See what they can do, but we're going to have a new quarterback coming into this game. I'm almost confident of it. Darby Weimer may be the one calling snaps. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but let's see. I take that back. I think it's Miles Snelling. He'll be calling the shots. Miles is a freshman quarterback. Getting his first cracks of varsity action. Under center has Everett Oatman right behind him. That's a good luxury. And he's going to hand it off to Oatman. Up the middle. Break one. Break two. And finally kicked out. Past the 40-yard line. Now a few other subs coming into the game. Angel Gonzalez, the junior for Kamiah. And Snelling runs out. So either he's getting a wrist, play call in. I think that's exactly what he's doing. Running over to Garrison Bretts and getting the call. Maybe had a typo on there, had a different wristband, whatever the case may be. First and 10 for Kamiah. I formation. Snelling under center. And it'll be Gonzalez. And Gonzalez gets a yard maybe back to the line of scrimmage. That's my favorite thing in high school. I don't know about my favorite thing in high school football. That might be an exaggeration. But when you're the JV quarterback, you're a freshman, and you come into a big spot, you get to play against a varsity squad, but instead of, maybe having your JV group with it, you get your starting varsity line, or at least a couple of your starting varsity linemen. It makes you feel a little more comfortable heading into a game rather than having a few of your classmates with you.
Yeah, you get that luxury of the varsity line. They still get the snaps and everything. Makes you a little bit more comfortable, hitting those holes a little harder. And then eventually you just work in slowly everybody else.
Fumbled snap on the play, Richard Allen under center. And Snelling lands back on him. We got 5:30 in the ball game. Clocks are running. As always, this game is presented by Project Filter, Valley-Wide Cooperative, Next Steps, Idaho, Ideal Idaho College Savings Program, and the Idaho Office of Highway Safety. After this ball game, we're going to be recognizing a player of the game. Brought to you by the Idaho Office of Highway Safety. Got some tough decisions here for Kamiah. 3rd and 13 for Kamiah. And Snelling, and he gets hit hard there. Connor Christensen came in out of nowhere.
Fourth down for the Cubs.
Yeah, that was a little welcome to varsity football there. Maybe letting out a little frustration, not in a bad way. Just taking a hit where he can.
So it's going to be 4th and 20 for Kamiah. 4:20 in the ball game. At the bottom of your screen. Clancy Noak. And Snelling doesn't have time and brought down. Connor Christensen gets the sack, and Snelling turns it over. And the varsity defense for Kamiah is trotting back onto the field. I think they want to keep this shutout. Be the first time all year Kamiah had a shutout.
It will be, even, which is crazy to say because we've complimented their defense, how good they are. But really, they've played good teams. Council was good, or is good, not was good. They are good. And will have continued to be a bright spot down in the 1A ranks. And Logos is clearly good. They're beating up on Prairie right now. And lap.
We thought Prairie was good. Maybe Prairie. We don't know about Prairie right now.
This is true. Didn't they shut out Lapway? Or am I wrong? I mean, it only went
Prairie. No, it was 42-6.
Oh, my bad. I forgot Lapway scored.
Wally steps up, throws a nice fake, and's not gonna get past the big man. Boone Cox on the tackle. You know what we got to know, Kyle? Maybe this is a controversial take. This is a question. We got to know where Sawyer Weimer's at. Really good athlete. Really good basketball player. Big athlete on the football. He'd be good if he played football for the Kubs.
He would be a very solid athlete. He could probably do a lot of things. Pretty athletic, pretty fast. We saw him on the basketball court last year. We sat down and had a conversation with him in the hot tub after one of their games last year when we were down at state. Had a good conversation with him. Good kid. We'd like to see him out here. I'm sure he could make a difference. Maybe he's in Kamiah right now in the gym.
No, we got to know where Sawyer's at. Come on, man. So it's 3rd and short for Clearwater Valley. There's a minute 50 here in the ball game. Last push to put some points up on the board. It was the second quarter. There was about a minute and a half left, and Clearwater Valley got inside their own. Got inside the 10, and Kamiah went 3 straight plays on the defensive side of the ball, and they shut them down. No points out of it. Caden Carter, nothing to gain there. Gonna be now 4th down.
4th down and 4.
Few more junior varsity kids into the ball game for Kamiah. Caden Wilson, one to note. Wyatt Amott into the game as well, a freshman. Damian Ochoa, Everett Oatman still on the field though. Under a minute, 4th and 4. I formation for Wally. And the hard count moves the chains. Get a first down the old-fashioned way, but ooh, that is the call. Could have been false start.
Could have been false start. I believe that was Wyatt Amott on this side.
Now the freshman getting his reps, and they throw a hard count at him. How dare the Ram? That's a tough one.
Hey, Alan Hutchins has to do what he's got to do. You move the chains. He knows what he's doing. He's been in the back there a while.
Mott brings pressure still on his feet, throws it out to Paradise. And Ochoa is going to end this football game with a bang for the last tackle. As Kamiah wins it 54-0. We will take a break and come back in a couple minutes to announce our Idaho Office of Highway Safety Player of the Game and wrap the game up here on IdahoSports.com.
As Idahoans, we're not afraid to take risks.
All the way, all the way. Go. All the way down, all the way down.
Driving under the influence is not a risk we're willing to take. Be around to do more of what you love.
Idaho isn't your average state, and we are not your average people. We're not afraid to jump feet first, and we see the world a little differently. We know
We're back here on IdahoSports.com to wrap up our North Idaho game night as the Cubs defeat the Rams 54-0. But we want to recognize our Idaho Sports Player of the Game presented by the Idaho Office of Highway Safety. As Kyle, I think we're going to give it to Lawson Landmark. What do the stats say?
Lawson Landmark had 201 passing yards on the night, went 13 for 15, 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. Near perfect game from Lawson Landmark passing the ball. He also was all over the place on the ground too, had 7 rushes, 57 yards, and 1 touchdown, so 6 touchdowns altogether for Lawson Landmark. Also locked down on the defensive side of the ball playing corner. Overall, really good game for Lawson Landmark. He could have won player of the game last time we covered Kamiah. Everett Oatman showed out. Also, I want to give a shout out to Todd Roberts, who had a really big game, partially because Lawson Landmark's back there slinging him the rock. But Todd Roberts had 4 receptions, 99 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the game. So really good game out of him, too. And Gavin Schoening also had 2 touchdowns, 65 yards on 5 receptions tonight. So overall, player of the game goes to Lawson Landmark. Really led the offense well. Carried this team, was a real leader back there, and cool, calm, and collected from start to finish tonight.
Yeah, Kamiah wins it and moves on, and now we're 5-0 on the year. And will continue their battle deep into the White Pine League. As we mentioned, next week they will be on Idle, so they'll have the bye week, and then the following week on the 10th of October, they will face the Kendrick Tigers in Kendrick. So that is a massive game to look forward to. We're excited to bring you that game on IdahoSports.com. For Clearwater Valley, next week they will be in Cottonwood for a matchup against the Pirates, and we will be myself will be in Potlatch for the Kendrick and Potlatch game next Friday night. Well, for everyone here at IdahoSports.com, as always, this coverage on Idaho Sports is presented by Project Filter, Valleywide Cooperative, Next Steps, Idaho Ideal College Saving, Idaho College Savings Program, and the Idaho Office of Highway Safety. Special thanks to Athletic Director Alan Hutchins, always bringing us and giving us great hospitality here. And congratulations again to our IdahoSports.com Player of the Game, Lawson Landmark. Thanks again for joining us as the Cubs defeat the Rams 54-0. As for Kyle Schwartz, I'm Hayden Uhlencott, wishing you a good evening.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams.